Hello, folks, and welcome back to our channel, The Second Look. Today with another episode of our series, The Worst Image, and let's dive right into it. I'm gonna share my screen, and then can I explain a little bit better? So I have downloaded images from the cloud space where I store my stuff from Australia. I've been to Australia in roughly from winter 2000 to 2001. And it's a little bit bigger, brings on the right side, but since I'm the owner, okay. So, but nevertheless, so from winter 2000 to 2001. And I did those images with analog camera. Those images are all from color slides. I scanned them around 2006-ish, 7 with Reflecta, how is it called in German? Dia scan for color slide scan 4000. And I scanned all of my color slides at that time. And I haven't taken a look at those images for quite some time. And I have to admit, those scans came out the best overall. What do I mean with that? You have to imagine this is like a color slide machine, but it's not projecting on the wall. It's just projecting on a CMOS, like a digital camera has nowadays. And you put in your CS magazine, and then you could start it and let it run overnight. And it would have stored all the images to your drive. But of course, there are some physical things happening. As you can imagine, this is the plane of the color slide, and the color slide is in the frame in between. And of course, depending on temperature, and there's also some cooling stuff, fan in those devices. And of course, then this color slide within the frame would maybe bend a little bit and make it mm, hard for the scanner to have a sharp image and all other physical effects like Fresnel and you name it and whatever. And in general, of all the images that I scanned from my travels, the one from Australia came out the nicest. I don't have images from Sydney anymore because when I was staying in a hostel south of Sydney, they stole my equipment, and so all of those images happen south of Sydney. Then I was traveling to Melbourne, I was traveling to Tasmania, I was traveling to Adelaide, and then the whole trip back again for quite some time. I took roughly a half year off. And so those are some images that I took at that time. There's a lot of really nice images when I look at them. And actually, well, most of them are in terms of scan, they're really, really good. And so what I picked for today is a classic, and this is this one. This is more on the southern coast of Australia. There's some highway going along. It's Highway 1, and it's a coastal road similar to the Highway 1 in the United States of America. And those two rocks are part of a formation that's called 12 Apostles. This is in direction of east, and you're standing on some other cliff. And if you're watching the other direction, direction west, then you see several of those also. And so let's take a look at this in general. So this is 200% already, so this is 100%. And the funny thing is, when we go to edit here and we go to noiseless, it somehow recognizes, of course, not that it's a color slide, but it sees there's a lot of noise. Funny thing is, I have images from my digital cameras. To me, to the eye, they seem similar, noisy, but Luminar Neo just finds out, okay, or suggests you would go for a low denoise. Luckily, the algorithm is pretty much the same. It just needs only one calculation, and then you can hop from here to there. And I'm already in 100%. So I think I go with the suggestion of Luminar Neo and take the middle one. And if you do previous and after, in my opinion, as I said, in comparison to my digital photos taken with a digital camera, I don't see so much difference. I later on show you where I see really a lot of difference. So it was a sunny, bright, cloudy day. And what we do we next? We try to adjust this thing. Always hit the button auto adjust, and it makes it lighter, but a little bit better with the highlights. Actually, I like the dark look better anyway, dark in terms of more saturated. So let's see what we can do here. I reduce those a little bit since there are no really dark colors and black anyway. And I bring the white or the light ones up also. So like this. It increased the exposure a little bit. Of course, I can't remember at that time with what data I was shooting. And usually not, I don't crank up smart contrast here because I intend then to use enhance. But let's see if we bend this a little bit down, a little bit more. Look, what have we here? It's more saturated and it's a little bit better. Usually then I bring this only on a small part of the curve. Something like this. But I think that's enough. It looks quite hazy like this. Afterward, it looks much more sunny and bluish. Okay. So then let's continue with the crop. I always try out composition, but I don't know how Luminar Neo is referencing composition. Often it seems off to me, especially if you have people and wildlife in your images, then I can show you then another image that I intend to work on, but let's see how long we take for this one. Okay, this is quite centered and it makes a little bit of use of the thirds rule. So it cuts down a little bit here, brings down landscape to a little bit less than a half, and the sky, it is a little bit more than half. I would confirm this. Then next thing is, and here we're coming to a very really interesting part. So usually I said this really makes it really bizarre, and this is way over. So usually I found out for myself that uh, to the right, so in the 30s is max, depending on the image that you have. So I'm gonna crank it up to 32 over here. And I like it even better. And here I can show you something with the sky enhancer. If you crank up the sky enhancer here all the way to 100, I never could, and it's not, it's still very, very blue. And there is no artifacts in here. If you would do this, or if I would do this on my images on an APS-C sensor for all of the other skies, this never happens. You immediately have some sort of artifacts. It's never that uh, cool gradient for the blue. I think this has to do with the fact that originally this has been film, this has been color slide film, which has caught much more light than digital cameras. I don't own a full frame, so I can't speak for that. But for APS-C and pretty sure for micro, uh, how is it called? Micro for 3/4, something like that. It's the similar. And so I would never be able to crank it up all the way to the end. But nevertheless, I think I will go with something like here in the midst of the 10 and compare it. And we see it, the grayish part here has also vanished. So it's even more saturated with blue. I like that. For landscape, I don't do as much. It was somewhere during the middle of the day. It was not golden hour, but what I do is I try to dehaze this stuff a little bit to pop out more colors here, but only a little bit. So like that, you even do something. Yeah, a little bit. You can see it maybe over here. And on the beach in general. So maybe one step over here to bring out the sand a little bit more, but not too fancy. Yeah, that's that. And then, of course, we have quite some water going on here since we're at the ocean. And at first, let's see how or if the water is recognized. It's recognized pretty good. So here's some beach that we can raise. Else, yeah, a little bit over here maybe. Doesn't matter too much. And this is in the background anyway. So over here, delete it, and over here. I think that's just fine. But what we can see, it becomes more bluish. This is more greenish, and it's now more bluish. So maybe 20 is a little bit much. Turn it down a little bit on the blue, but I like it a little bit better. So this is before, and this is after. This is before, and this is after. Okay, I think that's all I could, of course, and I do this all the time for the ones that I do with color slide, and this will take some time. I do a sharpening, or at least I try to do a sharpening. I'm pretty sure it will not work that good over here. There will be some artifacts, and we'll see how it works out in general. And I started it. It takes some time on this computer, and then I get back to you as soon as it's finished. And another whole eternity later. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, it's not that bad as I suspected. That's actually really good because if you have a lot of dots like that, it often makes it quite artifacty. So this is before, and this is after. This is before, and this is after, and it actually worked quite nicely. It brought out here the sand. I think this is all sandstone. I hope that's the proper translation to English. And it worked quite good over here. It also worked quite good on those ridges. You can see that. So I'm always amazed how good super sharp works. And it really works that good that it without sharpening those images, they wouldn't allow me to post them on stock platforms. But usually, those images they would take. Here we are already at 100%. We can go back in here and take a look at the sky. Bring it a little bit back. Okay, it does not change so much on those artifacts. Then I leave it. Yeah, I think Super Sharp worked quite nicely then again. And I did the mistake that I switched back on the tools. The tools are building up on each other. And if you watch one down below for especially Super Sharp, and you go back then after Super Sharp, it has to calculate again. So with the final image, I have to let it run again for both 3 minutes, and then I get back to you again. So this is way too much eternities that we have to wait for here. That's also one of the reasons why I like the new feature of virtual copy, because then you don't have to switch back to this one and it won't calculate. I think it makes heavy usage of modern video cards, but since I'm doing it on a medium size laptop notebook, then it does have, then it takes its time to calculate. So again, now we can do the comparison, I think, for the sharpness, especially. So then let's zoom out and let's take a look how it looks. So this is before, of course, and this is after. It's much more hazy and sort of grayish. And here this pops much more. And well, this also always subjective, but I like it much better that way. I am not sure. Well, we can try some LUT if this changes our view of no blue hour, no golden hour, lovely light. Lovely light. This makes it more orangey for the beach. This is more natural. Pink light, not at all. Stunning light. This makes it a little bit softer again. This makes it a little bit harsher again. Subtle warm pop. I think I like that. This is before, and this is after. I think I like it with this one even better because it brings out the hills here a little bit better. And those patches of brown and red. Okay. Okay. I think I leave it at that. And again, this is before and this is after. This is before and this is after. So I don't want to switch away from here, but I want to show you some images. So I will pause here and export this image for myself sake. So back again for the last time. And there are several other images that I try to improve. For example, we have here a kookaburra. Kookaburra is a national bird of Australia, something like that. And you can see here it's not that sharp. From a distance, it works, but if we're going closer into it, then we see it's not that sharp. Come on. And then there's another quite nice image with a bird like this one, drinking from this pond. I think it was in the Canberra Botanical Garden. I want to try to improve one of those landscape images. Uh, and I think I try to pop those waves here a little bit more. There are some other birds. For example, this one is the swan, but here I missed totally out on the where to put the focus. Unfortunately, it's on the last of the younglings. That's actually not the full image. The full image is like um, restore it. Whoops. Since I already applied it, I can't restore it. So we have to do it like this. Okay. Right. So you see that the focus unfortunately is not here on this plane where the adult is, and on this one, or even the first one, it's on the last one. And somehow I like it and somehow I don't like it at all. Yeah, one of those missed opportunities, but I maybe try to bring it out a little bit better. We have here this one with another adult in the background. I think I try on this one because there's potential, especially here. It's not that blurry, it's quite sharp. I think so. I give you some outlook for what I'm gonna do next. But this is for some other video. And I hope you took something out of this one. If you liked it, please leave us a like. If you have constructive feedback, or tell me which image that I described should I work on next, please write in the description in the comment section below. And if you don't miss out, if you really like what we're doing on a longer scale, please hit the bell button, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our future videos. And we hope to see you soon on our channel. Norbert has not been here for quite some time. He is here, but he is very busy with his daytime job. And we are also working on our Facebook pages and on other channels. So try to find us on Facebook with the second look. And we hope to see you here soon as well on the second look. Till next time. Bye.